don't have a link. No link.
You broadcast?
No, actually, I could go to.
You broadcasting on
YouTube.
Yeah. And get your broadcast link.
Channel. Yeah, there you
Here
go.
we go. Broadcast live today. The drone flight.
Where's Facebook at?
My signature on 30 minutes. Let me see what they are.
We lit. That's it. I'm about to text my man Danny BitCoin in a minute. We can have it running if you want to have that. Have us run in the background. Well,
no.
It's a view. Oh, I think that was us that was viewing it. I think that was
yeah, that's why it was echo.
No, I was echo because it was playing. Yeah, it was playing from here. That's how I go.
Okay. Let's get started.
I mean, yeah, I guess we just start going in. I mean, unless you want to wait till it's a viewer come in, or you just want to just start talking about what you want to talk about.
I think we got 30 minutes. We need to start to have this conversation.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, so how you feeling, man? Tell me what you think about Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? You know, because there's a lot of people that's interested out here, and they want to know what's going on with this phenomenon that's happening. You know, so what is Bitcoin to you? First of all, introduce yourself.
My name is Jason. Father, investor, and husband, and you know, trying to make it work.
All right, man. I'm Brandon, just a regular guy trying to reach the people. That's it. Now, that's all I got to say about that. We gonna check in with y'all weekly, try to let y'all know what's going on in the world of Bitcoin, and have a good time. Y'all want to ask questions, man? Let us know. Post on the screen. We'll try to answer as many questions as possible, man. So, yeah, Jay. So back to what I was asking you, man. Sorry for cutting you off, man. But what is Bitcoin?
First, let me say that there are no experts in Bitcoin. Everybody's just really new to the game, trying to understand what it is. And from the research that I've done, I think I have a good idea of what Bitcoin is. And right now, I think what that is a value store, Brandon. Value store meaning that it's a place where you can tuck any kind of cash and then subsequently see it grow based on the math of Bitcoin.
Okay, so you're saying if a Bitcoin is the price that is at right now, if I'm looking at the price, and this is just, you could just look this up on Google, regular Bitcoin price, $16,000 for one Bitcoin. Almost 17 at this point. I don't have that much money. So is there, how am I possibly going to invest in this? How's that work?
Well, the language is actually wrong in what you see on all the charts. Price is not what that should say. That really should say value.
Okay.
And then, if you want to invest $100 in Bitcoin, is $100 in Bitcoin. So what you'll end up doing is getting a fraction of a Bitcoin that represents $100. And so your investment will be 100. However, you will experience the same growth that the market grows based on that $100. We'll say based on that $100, we'll call it an investment.
Okay.
I don't like that word, but we'll call it an investment.
Okay. So you take your money, you put it in this value store, and you're hoping this crazy frenzy of investing continues. Why are you so? There's a lot of people that's skeptical out here, man. Like, I feel like, I'm not so sure. Why should I do this? Why should I put up 5,000, 500? Why should I believe in this asset? I'm watching Warren Buffett. I'm watching CNN Money. All of these guys are saying it's a bubble. It's going to pop. To my understanding, a bubble is something that, is very popular.
Right.
And eventually it's going to die out.
Well, a bubble is an asset being overpriced, where the price of that particular asset hasn't really met the market, meaning that we haven't reached the limit to which people are going to stop paying for that particular asset, right? Okay. So now, the people on the selling side, right, will then keep selling and raising the prices as long as people keep buying.
Okay.
Right? So that's considered a bubble.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So we have inflated prices, the people still wanting to buy, and there hasn't been seemingly a ceiling for the market, right?
Okay.
We'll take, the housing market 2008, we won't talk about that, but that's bubble, right? Where you were paying inflated prices for some asset that really hasn't gone up.
Okay.
Right.
So what is keeping the Bitcoin from doing that? I'm looking at the market cap right now. I'm going to pull it up just because I'm here. Market cap, guys, is basically how much total money is inside of an asset, inside of a security. That's what market cap means. And normally that gives you, a good overlay perspective of how the security is doing at that time. So if I'm going to look at Bitcoin right now, $293 billion. $293 billion.
It was probably about 300 billion somewhere about 1 o'clock today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So if I invest my money, is it safe to say that this 293 billion is it going anywhere for a while?
It'll continue to grow over time. I think, right? Because I say I think because one, no one can tell the future, but I'm pretty confident that it's going to continue to grow as the popularity of Bitcoin begins to grow, and then as people get more comfortable with the asset, then more people will come into the system, and then as more people put money into the system, the price of Bitcoin will grow.
Okay.
Right? Because there's only a certain amount of Bitcoin plus the money in the system. Do the math, and then you get the price of Bitcoin.
Okay. Cedric Williams posed a question to us. He said, "What is Bitcoin backed by?"
The money that's in the system.
Solely. So it's not backed by any government. It's not backed by any physical assets such as gold or silver. It's not backed by some sort of word of the government like fiat currency, like the US dollar. We're telling you this is money. It has value. So what am I laying my hat on at the end of the night if I invest in this? Like, why am I safe? Because what is it? I think that's what Cedric is asking us.
Well, again, we're not experts, right? But I'm gonna tell you what I think from doing my research, the stuff that we've been reading.
Right.
One, I think that the system is monetized by the market cap. So as people all over the world put money into this value store, right? It could be money from anywhere. Then the market cap of the coin is the system is monetized. And now once the system is monetized, you just need exchanges to now you have something that's valuable, this electronic thing that's become valuable because there's money in the system. And now we can begin to move money, transact with each other, and move money between you and I. And so now once you send me that money, I can take it to an exchange and exchange it for whatever money or wherever I am in the world, right? Whether that's a franc, a pound.
Okay. Okay. So basically, what I'm getting is if the stronger people believe in this and the more money goes into the Bitcoin system, that's pretty much what I can say is backed by. The $293 billion. Like,
and people.
Right. It's like real. I can see that.
Right.
I can go and see how much money is inside of the system. Okay. Okay. So when you talk about exchanges, I guess, what are those? Like, what can I do on the exchange? Do I buy Bitcoin? What do I do with it?
Well,
people are asking, how do I get into the Bitcoin game? That's the question that I get a lot.
So then there's different doors that you can go into and out of Bitcoin.
Okay.
Think of it exchanges doors, right? Where you can exchange one asset for another, right? So I can go from USD or pounds or franc or wherever you are into Bitcoin, into Litecoin, into Ethereum.
Okay.
Right? And so that's what exchanges are. And so that's how you acquire Bitcoins.
Okay. But just on the base level, how do I get into the Bitcoin world? How do I do that?
Begin to learn. That's the question.
No, how do I if I say I want to get into the Bitcoin game, like I want to start to grow my money in this value store, how you put it. How do I do that? What's the easiest way for me to get into the game? I'm not an investor. I'm just the average Joe. I got a good job. I just want to grow my money. How do I get into it? From the simplest aspect.
Get an exchange app or a wallet.
Okay.
Right. Then once you have a wallet, you can
a digital wallet.
A digital wallet.
Okay.
Right. A digital wallet. There's software digital wallets. There's hardware digital wallets. There's websites you can go to. Right. But if you go to a digital wallet, this happens to be a website that can host your wallet. Right. There is an exchange as well. You can then fund your wallet to then buy Bitcoin.
Okay. 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 So, what's like a good exchange I can use? Is it?
I think the most popular one today is Coinbase.
Okay, so I download the Coinbase app and I go in there and I can buy any amount of Bitcoin that I can afford. $100, $25, $500, whatever I want.
First, they start you off at I think it's a $500 limit.
Okay.
Then once you make your first transaction,
okay,
and they see that it went through, then they grow the amount of money
okay,
that you can we'll say store.
Okay. 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 All right. I'm okay. I'm understanding this. So I'm gonna take and like fast forward everything you told me, and I've done this. So now I've bought Bitcoin. I own it, and now I'm growing money off of it. Now is my question, like, when do I take out? Do I trust it? Like, if you're telling me all of this money is into the system, why is it here to stay? Well, what is so good about this? Is it the technology? Are people going to be spending money? Because I just don't understand how people can spend this like rationally if no one's accepting it right
now. One, I think you got to understand we go back to what it is, right? And what it is, it is a way to remove the third person from a transaction. Right now, a bank is in the middle of your transaction, which may charge you transaction fees. So from a business perspective, all large businesses, American Express, banks, they're getting involved in the blockchain technology so they can transact with one another. Bitcoin is so that you and I can transact with one another without any interference of third parties. So that's me to you. Right now, if you buy something, if you want to send money to somewhere, there's always a third party that's handling your money. But in the case of Bitcoin, it allows me to send money directly to you privately, right? So no one has to know, where the money come from, or who's sending it and who's spending it. So it's a way for you to control your money and then get your, just have your control over your assets, right?
Okay.
For instance, if you watch a couple videos by a guy by the name of Andreas Antonopoulos, he talks about Greece and how Greece had a financial collapse.
Okay.
And they froze the country's accounts because they didn't want the banks to fail. So now once the government decides to do that to you, you're kind of screwed. So again, we'll say the word value store so folks understand. This is like a profitable, I don't know, box under your bed, if you will.
Okay.
You know, when
Okay.
people didn't trust the banks, they kept their money in their mattress.
Okay.
So it's just like an awesome mattress.
So Bitcoin is an awesome mattress
Yes.
that magically gets me more money every night.
Exactly.
I can totally get with that.
Yeah.
I can totally get with that.
An awesome mattress that gives you money every night. That is right.
So if I'm telling my older people in my family, like maybe like somebody like my father, he may not be the most savviest person, but he may buy into it. What do I tell him to do that? Like, how do I get him to buy into the system? And he's known for, you know, older people are known to not really want to buy into new stuff until it's accepted worldwide and it's super popular. So how do you introduce this to somebody who is just not interested because they just don't know what it is and they don't care to know what it is, but you feel like they should? How's that work?
I think we got some more questions on the thing, but I think the first step is you have to unlearn what you have been taught. That's the toughest part. Once you unlearn what you've been taught and learn to look at things from a space where you understand what they are, what they can do, then you have to figure out what you want to do against what's happening, right? If it's make returns, grow your money to buy, you know, your wife a nice gift, or you plan for retirement, or make enough money so that you don't have to work anymore, right? Those are all choices of how you approach this market. So you have to understand what you want to do, and then if you want to just make a little bit of money, maybe store some money in this thing so that it grows over time. We're seeing growth and returns on investment like you can't get anywhere else.
It's ridiculous.
So awesome mattress is still like the word of the night.
That's ridiculous. The growth that we've seen over the past week has been ridiculous. So,
What Cedric say?
So you give money and the government takes a small fee, like 2%. No. The government is not getting anything. The government is upset right now because they're not getting a piece of the action, which is another reason why I feel like this is a legitimate investment. If the IRS didn't think this was a legitimate investment, a legitimate situation going down, I don't believe they would be trying to collect capital gains off of it. So that's what I feel about that. And so no, the government does not get anything off of it. Like he was saying, it's decentralized. So the government doesn't have anything to do with Bitcoin at all.
But they're trying to learn the game like everybody else. So, like you said, there's no experts. Lots of folks are trying to figure it out. So are we. We're just here to telling you what we're pretty confident that we know.
Yeah. So that's what it is.
Nah, Cedric, they don't get money on the transaction. There is a transaction fee if you go through the exchanges, right? So and then there's also transaction fees if you send money between one another for the network, but we're still trying to figure out exactly how that works. The more transactions small transactions that we execute, we're learning every day.
Yeah. So, what do you know about the other cryptocurrencies? Like, what's Ethereum? What is Litecoin? What are those? Like, so since I've downloaded the Coinbase app, I'm seeing these guys, and they seem to be cheaper than Bitcoin. So, what is that?
Honestly, still learning. Talking to some of the experts that's been in the game for a while that I know. They say you really have to understand what the alternative coin is used for.
Okay.
Right. So it could be gambling. It could be transacting with some other asset. But once you understand what the coin was built for,
right,
then you have a greater chance of understanding what the growth is going to be like. Okay. Right. What's the market for the coin that the coin is built for?
Okay.
Right. So if you understand that, then you might want to invest in that while the market cap is low and the prices are low, so that you can obtain, we'll say, full coins instead of fractions of a coin, right? So that the growth that you experience will be exponential.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Totally understand. Okay. So, what's the next big thing that's gonna happen to Bitcoin? Like, what's on the horizon?
I'm not sure. I think we're going to see continued growth. I think that you just need to get some experience. Everybody I think had to make this decision whether we was going to put some money in it or test it out. And I think it's just like anything else. If you've ever traded a stock or decided to learn investing, it's just something you got to do.
Yeah.
You can talk about it till you blue in the face, but it's just something you got to do. So once you do, one foot in front of the other.
Man, hey, listen, I posted the price of Bitcoin currently. It's probably moved from that. A lot of people question the volatility of this thing, man. Like, what can you speak to that? I feel like I have some thoughts about that, but it just makes me wonder, man. Like, how long is this bull run going to continue? Because over the past couple of weeks since Thanksgiving, it's ran about a good $8,000.
Yeah,
and that is ridiculous.
Yeah,
that is unheard of.
Yeah, nah, it's crazy.
I mean, $2,000 in a day. That is just insane.
Right.
What is happening?
What I think is happening is what we see. The volatility equates to money entering and leaving the system. So there could be big players out there that can move the market and move, take a lot of money through an exchange, take a lot of money out of the system. Once those transactions clear, then we'll see that on the bars, right? Money comes into the system, and when those transactions clear, once the network confirms all those transactions, we'll see movement in the bars. So more money's in the system, the higher the price will rise. So I think that the price will rise with the popularity, comfortability. So when people get comfortable, they understand a little bit more. There's going to be, the value will grow.
Okay. So you don't think anything that can happen that could make the price decrease? Like when these futures contracts get released on the 10th, when these guys, and I'm assuming, right, they want to short Bitcoin. So shorting is they want to bet against it, guys. They wanted the price to go down. So this is one of the concerns that a lot of investors are having right now. So they're concerned that these guys may come in and drop the system now. Well, I think the inverse is going to happen. I think that the fact that they're even entering the Bitcoin system that was apparently fraudulent, fake, not real, and all of these other negative formalities that was associated with Bitcoin, all right? Now we're getting professional institutions wanting to be involved, and they want to short the stock. So
I think we got a good question down there. Not to cut you off. Boosted Street.
Right. So I'll get to that question.
All right.
I just feel like when that happens, I feel like the price is going to go up even more. Even if they are trying to short it, I feel like they can't stop the juggernaut. It's like a locomotive at this point.
Yeah, I think from a futures perspective, I would always have long bets. You know what I mean? Because if you understand the market, if you're gonna play futures, you gotta understand the market. Like if you was gonna trade pigs, you understand the pig market.
Right.
Right. So if there was a mass pig flu to kill all the pigs, then, you know what I'm saying? You would want to short the market.
Right.
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 So I don't think futures contracts on Bitcoin is gonna help the folks to understand the market. It might make some side bets, like you could think of futures as a side bet, that they can create to make lots of money, really fast. So we having $2,000 moves. So just for instance, if you had a futures contract, you probably wouldn't be able to trade it because it's going to be 100 times the asset, right? Unless they break it up into a fraction. But that's how it is today.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I want to see how these contracts are designed. We're getting kind of advanced. But what was that question that he had? Do you remember?
Yeah, he was like, if you sell shares high, are you penalized?
I can pull it up. First of all, Bitcoin isn't a stock, and you don't buy shares of it. It's not a company. It's simply a digital currency that you can own pieces of. And those pieces that you can own, if you don't own a whole coin, increase or decrease in value. That's simply what it is.
With the market.
With the market.
So don't think of it as
a traditional...
As a share in a company. You own fractions of a Bitcoin, and that entire coin raises in value, and so does your fractions. Hope that makes sense.
It says from recent patterns it dropped in gains. So do you think it will continue the same pattern for at least the next year? Pretty good question. We're not soothsayers, can't tell the future. From what I know and what I feel like, and I'm very bullish, I think it's going to continue to grow. Because one thing I do know that they really haven't got any institutional money injected into the game yet. So that's one thing that you got to understand. The banks are still kind of hating on it. But what's happening is all the people that invest with their banks, they're asking the banks about it. So the banks are like getting pressure from their clients to get into this world. So to answer your question, yes, I think it will continue to go on an upward trend. Is it going to continue to run like it has over the past month? I doubt that. It's probably going to slow down and bounce back out at some point, for sure. But who knows?
I just think that I think money is going to continue to come into the system. So once that happens, the price goes up. So after when everybody sees that, oh, we're making so much money here. If you're in today, right, you'd be in a better position because you're going to get to ride the rest of the people who want to pile in money to then raise the value of Bitcoin.
Right. Mr. Puppet Stuff, you said we're better off buying gold? Probably safer? I mean, I can understand that. I can understand that perspective, but I don't know about that. I don't know if gold's making you 100% return on your money in a month.
Well, look.
I don't know. I'm not a gold investor. You are, though, so you may know more than me.
No, I just think it depends on where you are in your life. You know what I'm saying? He's right. It may not be safe for you for where, your retirement and you got your stuff set up.
Right.
It may not be safe for you.
Right.
If you don't have any cash to experiment with in this space, then
look what he just said. That's the reason why you should get into it now.
Yeah, I mean, exactly right. But so look, Miss Puff and stuff. I tell you this. I was listening to this thing, and I think it's very true. There's such a thing as risk, right? And risk is something that people can measure. I don't know, it's not safe. And then there's such a thing as uncertainty, like nobody knows, right? And so when you go into nobody, in a space where nobody knows, then you're on your own and you got to figure it out. You're gonna take some risk, right? And then some people don't make it.
Those when the risks are the greatest and they pay off the best.
That's right. Right. So my advice would be like, if you're up to it, right, then you need to be where things are uncertain, because that's where you can build and develop and learn and then grow at the same time. If you want somebody to hold your hand and give you training wheels and take you along, then there's people that will do that as well. That's all I got to say on that. He's right.
Hey, I totally agree. Just to piggyback off of that, you're right, Mr. Puppet Stuff. 99% of the population of the world doesn't even understand, but doesn't even know what Bitcoin is. It is scary stuff.
But believe that. Let me touch on that point. Believe that 99%, that's opportunity.
That's where I was going with that. So, Mr. Puppet Stuff, imagine this 293 billion. That's what the 1% that you're giving us right now, right? Imagine when we hit 2%. Imagine when we hit 5%. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why you want to get into it now. I think that's why it's a good investment. The next question is: are you taxed on Bitcoin? You are taxed on Bitcoin from a short-term investment perspective and a long-term perspective. Long-term investment perspective, yes, to answer your question. However, if you do not take it out, then you will not be taxed on capital gains. So it's different ways you can play that, but to answer your question, yes, you are taxed. Are people reporting like they're supposed to right now? No. Last week, the IRS, like I mentioned earlier, sent out notification to Coinbase, which is pretty much the industry standard exchange for buying Bitcoin right now, and said, hey man, you need to let us release your records because only like like 7% of Bitcoin people reported to IRS their earnings for 2016. So the IRS is upset, which is another reason I feel like, again, it has legitimacy, man. That's giving it legitimacy.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of gray area from a tax perspective. I think the jury's still out on how you handle that, and we're still trying to figure it out. You can go to irs.gov and search for it. They have a guidance out there, but it's kind of ominous and vague, I think. So I think we still got to figure it out in terms of what this means from a tax perspective. Has Bitcoin peaked?
That's hard to say. I think it ran all the way up to 19,000 a day. I posted this post probably about 5 or 6 minutes ago. It was at 16.7. I can give an update right now. It's going back down. It's at 16.3 now. So I honestly think it's found support at about 16 grand. But who knows? This thing is so volatile. It's really hard to call at this point. It's super hard to call.
I just think it's money entering and leaving the system. So I think there's going to be a space where people stop, want to take some money off because they think that it's an investment, and those folks will do that. And then when those folks do that, the price will drop. So, but I think that there's going to be more money coming into the system than not. So no, I don't think it's peaked. Yeah, I don't think it's peaked.
Can you transfer Bitcoin currency like a 401k without tax? That's a good question. I think he's asking, can you transfer your gains into a 401k? I don't see why you couldn't, but the minute you withdraw, the minute you convert your Bitcoin to USD, you're gonna get taxed for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's gonna be,
unless you can do that inside of a system somewhere.
Honestly, I think the larger question is, you probably can figure out a way to take out money and then put it into your 401k. But I think that the larger question is, why would you do that?
All these questions are good questions.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. But I think that's a whole other topic.
I'm going to have to actually research that one. I mean, yeah, that is like a whole nother.
Yeah, I think that's a whole other topic. So that great question. And I think it's some strategies and concepts that we can all kind of work into that space. Blockchain technology is worth a fortune for other stuff. I agree.
I mean,
I think it's going to be exciting to see how it develops and what it goes into. Why would you use Bitcoin to get rid of it if it hasn't matured yet? Right, Ashley. I don't think mature is what you're looking for. The word.
Yeah, I'd like people. The understanding of it ain't
right.
You ain't waiting. It ain't mature. Like,
right.
That ain't.
No, you got to think of like if you were investing, right? If you were investing and you want to buy a house or a car or save for college or something, right? That's when you take the money out. It's a value store, meaning that you could just put money in there and watch it grow.
Man, listen, man. Break down value store to the people. Because that shit is confusing. Because it took me a minute. It like smacked me like a ton of bricks driving to work one day. Like a value store. A store of value.
Right.
Like gold.
Right.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
Like baseball cards and some shit. Like
yes. Like
Jordans.
It's
a value store. That's a value store.
That you buy today, right?
Fucking art. Value store. This is a...
Yes.
He's storing value with this. This is a good example.
Right.
This picture is holding this a Basquiat. Basquiat. Goddamn, whoever the fuck you want to call it. This is a value store. This is Bitcoin. All right?
Right.
You buy art because it's going to hold value. I buy these Jordan 12s because I can sell them still. And they going to hold the value. It's a store of value. That's what I'm saying. That's what they got to understand that.
Yeah.
They got to understand that concept.
Right. So people for long periods of time has had value stores and that took different forms, right? So it could have been people bought art. Sometimes people bought property. If you had a lot of money and you want to buy something that's going to increase in value over time. Bitcoin gives you the opportunity to buy something today and watch it increase over a month,
Right.
like double.
Like art.
Right, like art. Right, and then when you get ready to do something with it, you want to buy another house or convert that value into something else, you would sell the art for a house, right? Or in this instance, I'm gonna pay you in Bitcoin for something you're gonna give me physical.
Correct.
Right? Maybe you have a 1968 Chevy that I want to pay 30 grand or 100 grand for.
You're gonna pay me that in Bitcoin.
I'm gonna give you that in Bitcoin. You gonna give me the car.
Right.
I still have 100 grand in value, but now I have a Corvette and you have Bitcoin.
Right. Right. But the only difference is, it's kind of the same concept in this situation, because the money that money you're giving me can gain value after you give it to me. By the time it gets to me, it can be $35,000.
Right.
You're not gonna get that same rate on that car.
Maybe.
Depends on who you. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In that analogy, it could vary.
It could vary. Right.
Depending on how pressed a car collector is.
Right. Right. So, I could. Yeah. Whatever the market is, you know what I'm saying. For the Corvette. But
I was
interested
analogy you used there.
Yeah. But I thought it was working out. But you're right. There's some variant in there.
Yeah. It's 21 million. Is there a definite number of Bitcoin? 21 million, right, is the number.
I think so.
21 million is going to be the number in 2020. In 2020, there will not be any more Bitcoin that's going to be able to be mined.
Transferring your gain and leaving in your original end. Well, I missed that last question. Limited quantity, unlike other currencies. Yes, Delta Echo, there's limited. Which, if you do the math on market cap, the amount of Bitcoin that's available today that's been mined, money in the market equals the value of the coin.
Boosted Streak, man, repost your question, man. It kind of got scrolled up.
Government can't manipulate its value. No, government can't.
No, the government has nothing to do with Bitcoin. Eradicate that out of your mind. That's why they pissed off.
Okay, I feel like I answered my own question, since the value will only change if there is more mined, not necessarily just made.
Correct. You can't make Bitcoin.
Right.
It's mined. Right. Right. Well, let's speak to that a little bit, man. How can I mine something that's digital? How does that doesn't even feel right. I'm like, what? How do I do that?
So
what's happening?
What I know is that the blockchain is a...
What is a blockchain? You're using words that we haven't introduced yet.
The blockchain is what computer cats call a hash.
It's a ledger.
Well, we're going to get to that.
Okay.
But the blockchain is a hash of a set of information, right?
Okay.
A hash is a mathematical calculation, representation of this set of data.
Okay.
So we spelled your name Brandon in a computer and saved the file. Then I could hash that file, and then that would be electronic, mathematical line of characters that represent that file.
Okay.
So now every transaction is a line of characters, and then those characters get hashed, and then each hash is put on the top of the next hash, which creates a new hash. Okay. And then computers have the software that have to calculate the hash. Okay. To then to break open the information, to verify the accounts, right? To then then they have mined the Bitcoin. Because they did that, right? They produce a new Bitcoin.
Okay, so people can understand, Mr. Computer Engineer Guy, the computer's playing a game. They're solving problems.
Yeah, math problems.
So this is them mining. Okay?
Yes.
And then when they solve it, bingo, we get a Bitcoin.
Right.
And that's the value. That's what happens.
Right.
That's still a lot to wrap your head around if you've never been introduced to this at all. So, is that really something you should focus in on? Or do I need to understand that? I think you should, but how important is that, like mining? Can anybody mine? Can I take my MacBook here, my normal computer here, and mine Bitcoin? I can mine me a $16,000 right now from my computer. Can I do that?
You can mine right now. There's open source programs you can put on your computer with a little bit of, there's set instructions. You can set up a miner.
Wow.
And then once you set up a miner, you got to have your accounts and all this stuff so that you can participate in the pool. And then if you have a pool of mining guys, then the more mining power I have to participate in solving the problem, the faster I can solve the problem. Then we all get split up fractions of a Bitcoin.
Okay. All right. So okay. So he said, can you spend Bitcoin on things of value? Yes. You can spend Bitcoin on websites such as Expedia, Newegg. You can spend Bitcoin on Steam games, which is a video game system. So yes. So you can do that. Bros, what is the 16K for? The 16K is the price of one Bitcoin.
It's the value of one Bitcoin.
Sorry. My brother here wants to change that word from price to value because it is a value store.
It's a very important concept.
He wants to change that. Yes, the 16K is the value of one Bitcoin at the time I posted this screenshot. Can you buy a house with Bitcoin? I don't see why you couldn't. It actually is some people selling houses with Bitcoin. I read an article today that it's some people selling their homes with Bitcoin.
So Google it. That's all. We haven't gotten that far yet.
He said he reposted his comment. I missed it again. I'm sorry, Booster Street. Let me see if I can go back into the app and look into it, Jason. So if you got a young investor coming to you, man. When I say young investor, I don't mean age. I mean like inexperience.
That's a great question. I think. So how much do you buy one coin for? So that's a little complicated, actually.
That is complicated. Because Draco could be meaning, does he really want to buy one coin, or does he really want to just get into the game?
So,
or is he understanding like it's
how
stock?
much is one coin?
One coin at the time I posted the screenshot was $16,728.62, I think that says.
But you could buy however many coins you want. You could buy $1 worth of coin. You could buy $100 worth of coin. You could buy $5 worth of coin.
Right.
You can buy, $50 worth of coin.
Correct.
That could be your first step.
You can buy any amount of Bitcoin that you want. I don't think you can buy. I think you got to buy at least $1. I think, but you can buy any amount that you want. It doesn't have to be 16,000. And really, all you want is that value store is to continue increasing the value.
Right.
The
so
percentage.
Dan Mapes says with Salt Lending, you will be able to buy a house with Bitcoin. So check out Salt. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out Salt Lending. I do own Salt Coin, and they're about to release a platform. But I don't know if that's correlated to what you're saying.
So, but that goes back to what we were talking about before. You got to understand what the coin is for. So, if there's a house buying coin, right, then you might be able to do that.
Okay.
To transfer, house money into to buy the coin. I mean, to buy the house.
He said $50 of coin value 16K each.
No.
50K is going to buy you a piece.
0.00003 whatever of Bitcoin. So you'll have fraction of a Bitcoin that equals $50.
Correct. That's what you'll have. George Jones, what is the Bitcoin? It's digital currency. Rewind the video, you catch all that in the beginning, brother, man.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, man, we come to the close. Or you got a little bit more, or you want to shut it down this week?
No, I think we covered just a whole bunch of stuff. I think people have a lot to go check out. Look up videos on Andreas Antonopoulos.
Yeah.
He'll bring you up to speed real fast.
Yeah. And if you follow me on Facebook, man, you want any more information, man, look, man, just hit me up in my DMs, and we can talk about it, man. It's all good. I appreciate y'all tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's my brother Jason.
We're learning like you learning. It's just what we know.
Crypto King. I'm just a regular guy.
Yeah.
BitCoin UnPlugged. Check y'all out later.
BitCoin UnPlugged. Check us out.